Now your host.
Okay, very good, you guys. We are recording. Just so you know, we're in webinar mode. We cannot see or hear you. You would need to go into chat with Alt-H, or you can go to Q&A, and I will be answering those live if we need to, but I'll also be putting them in the chat. So we are recording this, and yes, you all may get the link for this. This will not be up on our website. This is just a private showing for Texas. All right, Christopher, take it away.
All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. I am Christopher Caswell. I'm with LVI Low Vision International, and I am calling in from Sweden this morning to you, afternoon, evening to me. And I'm hoping everyone is having a good Friday so far. Today, we're going to look at MagniLink Air. MagniLink Air is a new concept of product from LVI, and it's quite new to the market. Quite new as a concept to the market, I should say. There is not much like this out there. And it's very interesting because with these type of products that you will see in this webinar, you can do things that you normally cannot do as a low vision individual. And I will first go ahead. I was planning on doing a PowerPoint, but I thought I could go over it real quickly before we jump into the products that I have here behind me. The concept is based on the software. Then with the software, you can connect different hardware parts. One main part is a motorized distance camera that's connected or clamped on the desk, the table, where the student is sitting. There is also a wall-mounted version that you attach to the wall. And then you control that camera from the software on your PC or Mac. Then you also connect another MagniLink LVI camera to the same computer. They are connected, or you know what, I have you on a movable desk here, so let me roll over so that you can see.
Christopher, sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to let you know that we have several individuals joining today that have no vision. So if you can be as descriptive as possible, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Thank you.
And as always, you need to, so having the microphone there. So right now I am taking the motorized camera, the MagniLink Air Distance, taking it off the table. I hold it now in my right hand. It's about 11 pounds in weight. It comes up 45 centimeters above the desk. I am so sorry, I don't know what that is in inches, but 45 centimeters. I place it back with only 2 bolts very easily. It has one wire that goes into the electricity that will give it power. And then you have one Ethernet cable that connects directly into the computer. That's all you have to connect this motorized external camera. And then in this setup, I also have connected to the same computer our MagniLink S. So I'm sure some of you are familiar with this product. It's our portable camera for distance and near reading with a lot of nice features within the software. Those two are now connected to my PC, and I will go back because now you have a somewhat a better understanding on what the system will look like regarding the hardware. I'll put you there. I'll come around. And now we are going to soon be diving into the software. I can also say that I know you are right there in the camera, but I have you on the computer down there. So sometimes I may be looking on the screen to see what I think you see, just so you know why I'm doing that. Again, only one camera into the computer from each camera. You load the software on the computer, PC or Mac. You start the software and bang, you are up and running. I will right now zoom in on this laptop that I have here on the desk. And as soon as I'm somewhat done with that, Kimberly, you can confirm that you get a nice picture.
Yes, yes, I can see it very clear. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you. So now we are live, in this case, with our MagniLink S camera. That's a little portable camera. And whatever is underneath that camera right now is showing up on our software or in our software. To make this demo easier, I will add a control bar on top of the software. That's an icon bar with all the functions available. And by clicking on each function with the mouse pointer, I will access that function. I could also be doing everything with short commands on the keyboard, which will probably be more used by the individuals that are going to use this type of system. There is also an option of having a MagniLink Air controller. Yes, I know it's an Xbox controller. That is correct. I will show you some of the functions from this one a little later. If there are anyone out there that is not having a computer or will not get a computer but still want this type of system, I'm showing right now a little black box. This little black box is called MagniLink Main Control Unit. It's actually a computer in a kiosk mode running just the PC viewer software with a lot of ports, USB ports, Ethernet port, etc. So you could use this instead of computer. There are a couple of features and functions that are not available in this that I will explain a little later. Going back to the PC software, I will give it one more zooming click. There we go. I know that some of you are familiar with the PC viewer and the Mac viewer software, but now in the new version we released together with the new MagniLink Air system, there are a couple of new features added. And we will go over not everything here today, but most. I will make the icon bar or function bar somewhat larger by pressing Ctrl+ so that you can easier follow along what I'm doing here. Other than the standard video magnifier features such as artificial colors, yes, they are here. Guiding lines, yes, they are here. I have a little flickering here in the picture because of my lamp behind me. This is a quite dark environment. I'm actually in the factory in Sweden of LVI, and above me there are two, I don't know the perfect English name for it, maybe roof windows or ceiling windows that normally gives this area very nice lighting, but nowadays we are in the winter time, so it's completely dark outside. Anyways, you can do all the standard features. With this, you can also save images very easily by either going in this icon bar or function bar, and you see it says picture and save, or the short command will be F5, and it will be stored on that computer that you're currently working on. You can easily open it, that picture or another picture that you have saved at another time by pressing either F6 on the keyboard or the open icon in the icon bar. Same thing with video recording. You can easily video record, let's say a session, and it will video record everything that's in front of the camera that's showing up in the software, and it's capturing voices as well through the microphone on the computer. It again will be stored on the computer, and yes, there is a limit that you can set within the settings for how long the recording could last. Some people ask me about the memory. The memory is the hard drive on the computer. Oh, sorry, I accidentally pressed the manual. There we are back. So easily take pictures, save that, save and open, and the same thing with video recording. You have the standard functions such as rotating the image, the mirror mode, the freeze mode, and then also you have OCR, but we will come back to that a little later. Now I hope you have somewhat an understanding about, let's say, the foundation of the software, some of the features there is. What we'll do now is we have only been looking at what's underneath my MagniLink S. Here are some of my fingers alive. But I can split the screen now because you remember we have two cameras connected. So I can split. Now I have the motorized distance camera on half of the screen on the left side, and I have half of the screen with my MagniLink S looking in near for writing or reading. I click with my mouse pointer on the window I would like to have active, meaning that any function or feature will be affecting in that window. So let's do the left side, which is the motorized camera, and zoom out a little bit so you can get a better view of what this little orange box where I'm sitting is looking like. I can actually change the split again to how it was in the beginning, but now instead I only have the external motorized camera showing up in case I want to have that in full screen. I could play around a little bit with my keyboards now. I know you can't really see that because we are focusing on the screen, but by using short commands on my keyboard, I can easily go back and right, left, up and down with the camera, and at the same time or individually, I can also zoom in and out. So it's very easy for me to find the location I'm looking at in distance by just using the controls on the keyboard, or I'm coming back with the mouse pointer. I grab my mouse now, and by clicking with the left click, and I click and hold, and I draw, the camera will follow in the direction that I'm moving the mouse pointer. As soon as I stop pressing, it will stay where it's at. That's another way of moving the motorized camera very easily. There is 3 preset positions within the software. They're either on Shift 1, Shift 2, Shift 3 on the keyboard, or showing up as icon 1, 2, and 3 within the icon bar or function bar. And I can easily preset my positions by moving the camera to where I want it to be. Let's say I want the first position set to a certain area on the whiteboard in the classroom. I control and click on button number 1 to preset that position. Now the camera, each time I press number 1 in the icon bar or control 1 on the shift 1 on the keyboard, it will take me directly to this specific position with the camera, the same magnification and the same area I'm looking at right now. So to make this really clear, let's take another area somewhere. It could be potentially that there is a door, there is an entrance to the classroom. Maybe that could be my second preset position in case I'd like to know who's coming in or who's leaving the classroom. So let's preset the door, the entrance to the classroom, as my number 2 by doing control and the mouse pointer on number 2, and then we can go back and have a third area of the whiteboard. And I control and click number 3, position 3 set, showing up in a window. Now I know I have 3 preset positions. So if I press number 2 now, it immediately takes me to the door because I hear or understand that someone is coming to the classroom. Okay, now I know that was my buddy Fred. He was a little late to the class, so don't worry about that. Let's go back to position number 1, where the teacher is now explaining the diagram. Or preset position number 3, which is the 2017 calendar here on the whiteboard. That's, of course, helpful for the individual's productivity in the class.
Christopher, I have a question. So you're showing that with one motorized camera has 3 positions that you can lock it in. In a little bit, you're going to show more than one camera that's motorized. Does each camera have the ability to pick 3 preset positions?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I did not know that. That's cool.
Yes, because if I go back to I now changed the split back to where I'm showing the motorized external camera on my left side of the screen, or the software, and the MagniLink S near camera on the right side. Obviously, the MagniLink S camera cannot have preset positions because it's not motorized. But I said before that by pressing either of those on the screen on those windows, so the left side, I will get a thick orange bar around it, or a frame, showing that's the camera that's now active. So that's where all my functions will now take place. So if I'm changing the high contrast, for example, I'm currently on the motorized external camera, that's only affecting that camera. If I then go over by clicking once on the right camera, then all of my functions will affect that camera. And that's the same with those 3 set positions if I had 2 motorized cameras, which you will see in a bit. One thing this product can also do is text-to-speech, OCR, process the text and read it out loud. So now, because I have the active frame is on my MagniLink S camera, I either hit F4 on the keyboard, or I go in the function bar a little further on the right, it says OCR, and I click OCR.
Congratulations to your purchase of a product in the MagniLink Air series. Keep the following in mind when unpacking your delivery.
I don't know how well you can hear that through the microphone here, but it starts to read very fast within about a second. It's still very accurate. And it shows up, in this case, in a viewing mode we call the text. So it's highlighting the word it's reading out, and then it continues to read through the text. You could, of course, magnify, change this, all the high contrast here to whatever that works for you. And you can change the viewing mode. You can follow a line. You can follow just the word. So we can.
Delivery. Be careful with the cameras. The cameras in MagniLink Air are fragile and
you can follow the actual picture. I need to play a little bit here with the contrast. We have the actual picture showing up now, and the word being read out loud highlighted below.
Should be handled with care.
So there are several viewing modes that you can follow along. Whatever works for you. When you use what works for you, it remembers that next time you start the software and you make an OCR. So you don't need to play with the settings each and every time. One new feature that's now added into PC Viewer software, and it's already included with deliveries of the MagniLink Air systems, and will be soon also included, and yes, free upgrades for those who already have a PC Viewer out there. A notepad functionality built into the software. That means, so let me change the splitting modes here. I want now to have just one page here. So we can, or one camera, I should say. So let's say here we are now looking at the congratulations to your purchase of a product in the MagniLink Air series document that I have underneath my MagniLink S camera, I now go into the icon bar on the top of the software. I press the notepad icon. It could also be the F7 on my keyboard. So I press here. It captures that page. I can then magnify it. I can use a pen to write in it. I can make the pencil bigger, smaller. I can change the colors. I can have a highlighter. I can also change that size and colors. So let me highlight a few words here. This is not a good contrast because the congratulations to your MagniLink purchase was already in orange on white, but just to give you an idea, I can highlight any word, I can erase it, I can add a text bar block, I can make that bigger, I can say, hello, Texas. So this is something that's new into the software, new into the PC viewer, and it will be also available for those who purchase just a standard MagniLink camera with computer connectivity within a near future. Of course, now when I have, let's say, filled out the form, signed the paper by using the notepad, or highlighted a few words, or whatever I'm doing with it, I can now directly from the software easily save that to the computer and then email it to my friend, my teacher, my boss, to my dad, anywhere I'd like, of course. Or I can save it to the network, the cloud, and then open at another time and continue working with it.
Christopher, that's going to be available in PC Viewer. Is it going to also be available in Mac Viewer?
Not in the first version, no.
Okay, and then the next question is going to come up. What about Chrome Viewer?
It will be in Chrome Viewer, yes.
Thank you.
So the idea here is that this setup of product, or products, I should say, is very easy to install. Even though you have two cameras, there are very few cables on the desk. It's only basically two cables and perhaps one more cable to charge the computer that the student is working on. It's pretty straightforward. You receive the products, you connect them to the computer, you install the software comes on a USB flash drive, so you plug that into the computer and you follow the installation steps. You could also download the software from our website and do it that way. And then you are up and running. And I hope that by showing you this in this webinar, showing you some of the features within the software, I hope you agree that it's pretty easy to use. You have the icon bar that you can make bigger and smaller. You don't have to use the icon bar. I know by experience that a lot of the users out there, they are working with the short commands. As I said before, if the individual or student doesn't have a computer or will not get a computer, we could run this solution by our main control unit. The functions that are not working with the main control unit that we sell is save and open pictures, video record and open video recorded videos. Also, the notepad part of it is not working because there is no saving space available. You can't save and open anything on this. All it does is run the software. So let me now plug in the Xbox controller that we call, of course, MagniLink Air Hand Control Unit. This is for those maybe more kiddos that are not familiar with using a computer or using a mouse or using a keyboard. Those who prefer to have something that's easier. And instead of reinventing the wheel, we thought it was pretty clever to use an Xbox controller for two reasons. Well, it's already available in the market. It has two nice joysticks and enough buttons to control most of the functions in the software. And a lot of kiddos already know that hand control. It's not completely new to everyone. So I plug it in with a USB cord from the computer to the Xbox controller. That will also power the controller. Once I connect it like I just did here, having the software up and running, a window appears saying that hand control is connected. So now I can go ahead and use this controller. I will zoom out a little bit here with the webinar camera so that you can see what's going on in the background on the software. So the left joystick will control the motorized camera. So let me change the split to full screen on that camera. Now we don't need the icon bar. So by moving the joystick, the camera will follow my movements. Up, down, left, and right. The right joystick will control the camera's zoom functionality. So by pressing it upwards, it will magnify. Pressing downwards, it will zoom out. I also have text-to-speech. I can jump around between the cameras. I can change the high contrast. I can change the add guiding lines. There is almost all of the functions available here, available on the controller. What's missing is saving images and video record. Those are the two missing features. And the notepad. So basically what you can do on the main control unit, the black box, is available here on the Xbox controller.
Congratulations to your purchase of a product in the MagniLink Air series. Keep the following in mind when unpacking your delivery. Be careful with the cameras. The cameras in
I pressed button A on the Xbox controller and it OCR the text.
So Christopher, if somebody already has an Xbox controller, can they just install the software, or is this something you guys have programmed?
No, they can use their own Xbox controller, yes.
Okay.
It's just a standard Xbox controller that we buy. I don't know if we buy it directly from. Is it Microsoft, I guess? I don't know.
Can the Xbox controller be reprogrammed or programmed if you want it to be different? Like if you want the joystick to do something different, can it be reprogrammed?
Oh, that's a good question. Not that I know. I don't think so. No. No, you cannot.
Okay. Yeah, that might be something we should look at for future.
Yeah.
You guys, we have something called feedback at lviamerica.com, and I really have been encouraging people this week. If you guys have recommendations, please send them in to feedback at lviamerica.com. When we upgrade our softwares and any of our hardware, we always look at that feedback. It's great that people give me the feedback and I do pass it along, but you've got to realize they listen to me all the time and that gets old. They want to hear it from you. They want to hear it from you. So 5 of you guys writing it in is more powerful than me telling them 5 times. So feedback at lviamerica.com. I'll put it in the chat. Yeah,
perfect. Thank you, Kimberly. So before we move on to the next product, which is also within the MLR concept, I'd just like to show you 2 things I forgot to show you. One is the Split screen. So the split screen is you can split screen within the software, meaning that between the two camera sources, you could split the screen different ways. You can also split the screen on the computer, meaning that our software could be set on the left side of the screen, the right side of the screen, up, down, center, full, or minimized by hitting the F8 on the keyboard. Or, of course, as always, there is also that function within the icon bar. If I go to settings on within our software, I will see if I can make that a little bigger. We have some settings here that could easily be applied to customize the product a little bit for that specific individual to speed up their productivity. One thing I like to show is the viewing modes. That's the split screen modes of the complete software I just talked about. So if I know I'm never going to use the split of the software on the left side, the top, the bottom, the center, or minimized, I can easily just unmark those by pressing them and they will be grayed. That means now I save the right side and the full screen. So if I now hit F8, that's all I have left. Just to help me use the program more efficiently. There are video settings, recording settings, shortcuts, all are available here to see and change. Not on the Xbox controller, Kimberly, but on the keyboard. There is speech settings, OCR settings, and then we have end user configuration in the bottom of the settings menu. That means another area where I can do some simple customizable settings. So for example, we have 6 high contrast combinations: black, white, black, yellow, black, green, black, red, blue, yellow, and blue, white. If I know that I or my student will never work with, or I put it the opposite way. Let's say I know my student will only work with the white and black combo. Then I simply just X or remove the ones I don't need by just clicking the X, and they will disappear. So now all I have, if I press F2 and F3, which are my high contrast, I can only toggle between black and white combo. So I don't need to all the time go through the whole cycle of high contrasts. I can even put my own color combination here. If I know, for example, I'm a big fan of LVI, I prefer to make a black and orange combo. That works best for my eyes. So now, in this case, I have black text on orange background. All settings I will make can easily be defaulted within the settings menu. There is one default button under each sub-menu in the settings menu. That will easily take me back if the student messes up a little bit. There is nothing to worry about. Okay, Kimberly, I am talking and talking and talking. Should I move on to the next product?
I think you should, Christopher. And then there's a couple things that have came up that I want to ask. Someone asked, who pays for these products in the European market? It's probably different in different countries, but just overall, if a school wants this in Europe, is it the school that's paying for it? How is the funding handled in Europe for these types of products?
Yeah, like you said, it differs from country to country. In Sweden, we have site centers in all larger cities where students or adults or seniors, they go there, they meet with an eye doctor, and then if it turns out that they are recommended to use the CCTV, they fill out the forms and they will get a product that are under contract for that specific region, that site center in that region. So LVI is on many different contracts here in Sweden, and we have our competitors here as well. where if you're on the contract, that is what will be available for those individuals. And then they have different categories. So there are portable categories, mid-portable categories, and then the more traditional CCTVs. But that's all handled by the site centers, and the site centers are connected to the hospitals, and the hospitals are run by the government. So yeah, it's tax money that will pay for those products.
So we got a contract to build ML for different regions and different areas. So I think that's how the question came up is, you know, how did we develop this? And then I know we developed it, we received a contract for it.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, let me give you that background real quick. So this was developed mainly for Norway from the beginning, because in Norway, they also have a contract, but there is only one contract covering 99% of the business in this industry in Norway for 5 years. It's a huge contract for a manufacturer like us. And one of the categories was this type of solution, motorized cameras that should be able to do distance viewing. And that's when we first got interested in making this product. And now we have them. We won the contract in Norway for 5 years, started on 1st of September this year. And now we're introducing this product on any market around the world. And this is, as I said in the beginning, quite a new concept. And the next product you will see that's within this concept is even more unique. And we'll see how the response is. We don't know yet. This is new to us too, but we know we have successfully started to show this off in some of the markets here in Europe, and so far the feedback has been positive.
Excellent. I think we're ready to see Uno and Duo.
Okay, so let me roll my little table here. What we're going to do now is I'm taking you on a little tour here to a table in front of the previous one. Then I will boot up my Mac. So now we're going to take a look at a Mac here. I will just log into that computer, and then I will explain what we're going to do now.
So then that brings up another question. So when you're doing Uno Duo and distance, it supports Mac, it supports PC, but not Chrome yet. Is that correct?
That is correct. But the Chrome, I have my colleague Sophie doing some final testings this afternoon here. And the Chrome viewer for MagniLink Air and Chrome viewer in general will be out on the market very, very, very soon.
Okay, very good. And then another question that's came up is iPad. Will this work with iPad?
Not yet, but yes, soon.
Thank you.
I didn't say very soon, but I said soon.
He's saying that for my benefit because I drive him crazy. You guys, I'm very impatient. I want releases and I want them now.
I can say that what you just saw me showing, the MagniLink S and the MagniLink Air distance, they will not work on an iPad in the beginning, but what I'm going to show you now will work on an iPad within quite a near future.
Thank you.
And what I'm going to show you now is, instead of having me here in the picture, I will go up above myself. What you see now is a standard inner ceiling in Europe. We're using 60 by 60 centimeters. That's about 2 feet by 2 feet inner ceiling tiles. And one of those tiles is to be replaced by a metal box. And in that metal box, you have either one motorized camera that could do both near and distance, or as you have here in this case, you have 2 cameras in the same box. And I will see, I don't even know if I will reach all the way up. No, I will not. Let me jump on the desk here. So my finger will come into the picture. So this little black square thing here is one camera that's built into the ceiling, looking downwards on my whatever I have on the desk. And then this more cupola type of camera is the one that can do distance viewing. Oh, I'm jumping down from the desk. This, I know, I said, that's why I said this is standard inner ceilings in Europe. I said that on purpose, of course, because I know that may not be the case in the US for your inner ceilings. But yes, we have a metal adapter that will make this camera also work in any environment all over the world. This metal adapter will be bolted or screwed in the ceiling, and then you just slide in the MagniLink Air Duo or Uno, which is the name of the products. Duo for the 2-camera solution and Uno for the 1-camera solution.
Do you have anything showing the wall mount, Christopher? That has came up several times this week as I've been going around to locations. They're wanting it.
What did you say?
The wall mount. We have people that are wanting to put it in a wall versus.
Okay. I will see if I can find one here real quick. No, there wasn't any here, but I can explain that in a bit.
Thank you.
Or actually, we can do it right away so we don't forget. So now I'm going back to zoom in on the desk-mounted motorized camera that we were just having a presentation for. So the camera head itself is in that wall-mounted solution, but the pole or the arm it's built on here on the desk-mounted is not included. Instead, you have just, let's say, a metal plate that comes out underneath and goes up as a 90 degrees angled metal piece that you screw into the wall. Remember, you still need to connect it to the computer with the Ethernet cable. So the student still needs to sit close to that camera, or should be quite far, but then you need to make sure that the cable is securely installed in one or the other way in the classroom.
So then the wall mounted one's only for distance. It's not for Uno and Duo.
Correct.
Okay. Someone asked, will the Xbox work without the PC?
The Xbox, you have to have a PC or Mac or the black box I showed you, the main control unit. You have to have either of those.
So you could have the main control unit, which you guys, so I didn't mention this in the beginning, but we were supposed to have all of this week as I toured, and I'm sorry, everything got stuck in customs. So Crystal Vision, you guys, is our exclusive reseller for all of Texas. They have already ordered their MLR distance. They will be getting it. They're actually getting theirs before I'm getting mine. So they will have it next week. So that's something that their representatives can take. And then I'll be speaking, I'm actually at their office today. I'll be speaking with Ed in regards to Uno Duo, because we do have a stand if people are just wanting not to have for Ed or someone to come out and put it in their ceiling, but they want to know, hey, if it is 20 feet up in the air, how clear is this picture? They actually will have a stand that they can put it up that high, be able to look at it, and you'll be able to evaluate it before you can make a purchase.
Good. So now with the Duo connected to my Mac here on my desk, it allows me to have a super clean desk. All I have on my desk now is a MacBook computer, a MacBook Pro, and one document. That's all I have, but I still have two beautiful incoming camera sources from two motorized cameras that are above me. One, as I said, can do distance, and one can do near reading. All of these MagniLink Air cameras have 30 times optical zoom. So you can go really high, but still keep the very beautiful image quality. And yes, they are of course full HD. I will, because of the dark here, I will turn on a lamp. I don't think that will disturb you. Doesn't look like that. So we're using the same software, but yes, in this case a Mac, but it's really the same. It looks the same, has the same functions, except for the notepad. Other than that, you have the video recording, you have the save images, you have the three preset positions on the cameras, you have the splits, you have OCR, you have the split screen of the software, you have everything here. Let me zoom in a little bit on my little Mac here. It's easier to control the CCTVs than this webcam.
So then, Christopher, do I understand correctly with the Mac, then we don't have Notepad in that yet? Is that correct?
It said you muted me.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to mute you. I was trying to unmute me. So Christopher, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so with the Mac, we do not have Notepad yet. Is that correct?
We do not have Notepad yet, correct.
Okay, thank you.
But what we do have here, so again, I'm repeating, the same software for the previous solution you saw me on the other desk. Yes, it was on a PC, now we're on a Mac, but the same softwares, but one for Mac and one for PC, but the same functionality other than the Notepad. What's unique here on this desk though is, well, I should just show you how that the camera rotates, even though they are above me, there's no camera on my table. I am now panning around with the distance camera using the mouse pointer on the Mac. I could do the same thing with the icon bar, or directly from the icon bar, go up, go down. And as you can see, I hope there is no delay within the transfer all the way from Sweden to Texas, but they run really beautiful. I can zoom in so you can see on a map here. Maybe we can see if we can find where you are at. Yes, it's a dark area, as I said. Okay, I have a map of the US in front of me now, or in front of the camera, but it doesn't show the states, but I know where you're hiding. Somewhere around here, I would guess. But anyways, it's beautiful image. Now we are playing with the distance camera. I just click on, in this case, the right side within the windows, the software, and I will then activate the functions to the near reading camera. That's again above me, but looking downwards. I can also pan around with this one, up and down, left and right, and zoom in. I can OCR, I can save what we have here in the window as a document or picture file. All of these beautiful things are included in the software for the MagniLink Uno and Duo. I can also explain, because I'm pretty sure some of you are thinking, how is this all connected? So in the metal box above me, where the cameras are, in this case, the Duo, the two cameras, that metal box is also having all the electronics. It comes from the factory here in Sweden, all pre-installed with cables and whatever is there. And there is a router, and the router is connected over Wi-Fi to my computer. So when I have my computer, before I say that, I should say that the only thing that's needed to the Air Uno or Duo up in the ceiling is, of course, a secured installation. But after that, you only need one power outlet. That's all you need up there. You connect the power cord that's in the metal box, the Uno or Duo. You connect that to the electricity. One cord is needed. Then you power up the whole system. Then what you do is, on the computer, you press on the Wi-Fi, and the router will show up from the Uno or Duo. The router, the Wi-Fi connection will be named with ML_Air_Duo or Uno, depending on what model you have, and then underscore and the serial number. The serial number stands on the metal box on the outside, so that's easy to find. Then you click connect. You have to plug in a password. The password is on a tape that's taped on the router. So before you install it in the ceiling, you should have someone taking that code. Of course, put it somewhere else. But we don't want it to be too, visible, because then other kids can easily connect to it. We want it to be a little secret, so that just the student that's going to need the system can connect to it. Then you connect, you plug in the password, and you are connected. The unique thing here is also that thanks to a repeater up in the metal box, the Uno or Duo box, there is a repeater, meaning that you could also connect to the school network at the same time as you are connected to a computer. So you can have two Wi-Fi connections thanks to the router and repeater we have up there. So you can be online or connected to the internet at the same time as you are connected wirelessly via Wi-Fi to our camera Duo or camera Uno or cameras Duo. If you don't want to do it wirelessly, yes, you can use an Ethernet cable from the router directly into the computer. That will also work, of course.
So Christopher, if you have the Duo, one camera is dedicated for distance, one is dedicated for document. Am I understanding that correctly?
Very correct.
Okay, so what if someone has Uno?
Then they need to use that camera. So let's do it like this. So I will now change the split here to have just the distance camera. So now I have the distance camera looking in distance with the Duo, but then I can also go all the way down with that camera. And then I will find my desk. And then of course I can zoom in and use it as my near camera. That's kind of how the Uno will work. That will be used for both distance and near. Or you could use the Uno just for distance if you want, or just for near for that sake, but just for distance, and connect the MagniLink S or any of our other MagniLink computer connected cameras to the computer and use, instead of, as you saw in the first setup here, I had the desk mounted cable connected air distance, I could use an Air Uno and the MLS, and it will look the same as on the previous setup. Was that clear?
Oh, you can have actually 3 camera inputs, if I'm understanding correctly. So if you have a Duo, you could have a Duo and a distance, or a Duo and a MLS. So you can have up to 3 camera inputs, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, do you want to go over Frame Grabber, and then I'm going to open it up. There's questions already coming in, but do you want to talk about Frame Grabber?
Yeah. Let's do the last part of the demo here. So I will now zoom out with the webcam. I will go over here. This is a third desk in this little demo area. And what I have here is just a regular laptop. It's a Dell PC laptop. What I have connected to it is Frame Grabber. It's a little teeny tiny black box, big as, almost slightly bigger than an iPhone, with a little antenna. It needs one power. It has one power cord to connect to electricity and one HDMI cord that goes into the source you want to send wirelessly to the PC or Mac viewer. In this case, I have this Frame Grabber connected with the HDMI to this laptop on this third desk. I have currently a cute animals compilation on YouTube. It's now paused, but I will now come back to the I will play with the webcam again to come back to the main computer, which is the Mac. There we are. Zoom in slightly more. So now we're live here with the camera above us, looking at the document. But since I have the frame grabber active or turned on with the other camera, no, the other computer, I could also use that incoming source here in the software. So what I did is within the icon bar, I pressed on camera sources until I get the third source. I have one for one of the dual cameras. I have one for the other dual camera. And then I have now one for the frame grabber. I will start playing the YouTube video on the other computer, and we can now zoom in within the software on what's showing on the second computer, which could be the teacher's computer or a friend's computer, and you want to have access to that information. Could be a PowerPoint, could be a ceiling mounted projector that you connect the frame grabber to, and you will get that image source directly within the PC or Mac viewer software. Could be a smartboard in a classroom. And you want to do this because now you have that image in our software where you can do all of our features. You can zoom in and out, you can change artificial colors, you can add guiding lines, you can do OCR, you can snap images, you can save them. That is the beauty and the reason for this. So now I'm really zooming in here in this little YouTube video just to show you how it works. And then I can pan around. So imagine if this was, let's say, a PowerPoint presentation. I just wanted to use these cute little animals. This frame grabber is currently only working with the ceiling mounted Uno or dual cameras. And the reason is it's connected to the router up there that takes care of the signal.
So a comment came in, it's kind of a question. These are great options. They're not going to put it in for one student, especially if that student's going from classroom to classroom. So if it was in like an auditorium or in an area where you had several individuals with low vision, how many individuals could tap into it at one time, and then talk about the controlling of that particular unit as well?
Yeah, so it's open for more people to connect to the cameras at the same time. So in this case, I could have both of those computers that I have here, or all three of them, I should say, connected to the Duo above me and run the software, and I will get the image we have here on all of the three computers at the same time. The challenge that is possible. The only limit with that is the more you add, the more you will slow down the connectivity. But we have tried here in the factory 4 computers at the same time, and that's not a problem. So we say that up to 4 computers is no problem. But they will all be able to control the cameras. Anyone that's connected can control the cameras. So they either have to be to have agreed to who's controlling the cameras, or they have to find a way how to agree on that, because anyone that's connected could control the camera.
We talked about the first time I showed this teacher control, being able to have teacher controlling things. So the question always comes up about cheating, how far the camera can go from one desk to the other. And now I'm talking about Uno and Duo.
Yeah, and I don't have the exact date on that, but it's very limited. it's only about a square meter, which is probably 3 feet times 3 feet.
Right, so yeah, we did
Yep.
show that one time where it could not go, where you had a desk further over. So I think the consensus we came up with is if someone has full vision or even wearing glasses and can see, that person could look over and see that person's desk easier than you could with if someone that has low vision that's panning over there. So, I mean, and especially with COVID, that desks are maybe even further apart, so they're not even going to be able to see that desk at all.
No, it's, as some of you saw me doing now, I went back with the distance motorized dual camera that I previously took to the table area. Yeah, that one can be played around more, of course. So there is always the risk of cheating with this type of system. But I think, as you said, Kimberly, there is someone that's fully sighted can also easily cheat. So I
Hey guys, I'm going to open it up for questions. If anybody has a question verbally they want to ask, just raise your hand. I'll unmute you. You also can go into chat with Alt-H, or there's also Q&A. Unfortunately, it appears Q&A. I'm not seeing a hotkey for it. If there is one, I'm not sure, but chat is Alt-H. Questions or comments?
And also, not only questions, but also please feel free to share in the chat or the Q&A or live in the microphone with us what you think about this. As I said before, we are honest saying that this is also pretty new to us. So any feedback we could get is something that we could probably use as for improvements.
Don't be shy. You guys have to have a question or a comment. Please go into chat with Alt-H or Q&A.
Yeah, don't be shy. I'm the one speaking Swinglish here.
Yeah, so Christopher, the word you were looking for a little bit ago is skylight. When there's light coming from the high windows or up above windows, skylight.
Oh, skylight. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Does the camera system need a surge suppressor? Surge protector, like when you're plugging it in, does the camera system need a surge protector? So I'm assuming he's talking about the distance at this point, the distance one. I mean, can you just plug it into the wall, or does it have to be into a surge protector?
I don't know exactly what you mean.
Christopher, you know, when you have a thing where it's long and then you can plug multiple cords into it, it has something built in to where if you had a thunderstorm or something coming, it's not going to give a shock to your computer.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I mean, I'm looking at it here. I know you can't see, but no, it's a standard AC adapter where.
So it's not going to hurt it to plug it in, but it sounds like you can just plug it into the wall, is what you're saying, Dan.
I guess so, yes.
Okay. This looks like it would be great for multiple students who attend the same class at different times. Totally. So if you have a situation where you have multiple students coming in, but they're in different times, and 3 or 4 coming in each time, they can all be accessing this and using it. And that's exactly what it was created for as well. Explain Go ahead, sorry.
And I just want to add to that, because that is so simple. When you have a standard Wi-Fi connection and you can put it on, like when I bring my work computer between LVI here, the factory, and at my home, the Wi-Fi, as soon as I come back home tonight and I start my computer, it will automatically find and connect to the Wi-Fi. That's the same thing here if I want it that way. If I want to have the automatic connection turned on, I just bring my demo computer here in LVI and I just connect. And then maybe on Monday, my colleague Martin here will be having the same type of demonstration like we have today. And he will be using his own demo computer and he will just easily just connect to it. So that it's very simple.
So you guys, I heard this week. I went around to a lot of schools and regions, and we really covered a lot of ground. Some of the things I was hearing are, you guys have great equipment and, you know, the Zip is great or the S is great, but how do you get the low vision kids to use it? They don't want to put it on the desk. They don't want to be different than anybody else. This is what that solves. You now have a computer, your neighbor has a computer. You're not like, oh, I'm low vision. I have all these other things I'm bringing with me. It's in the ceiling, it's concealed. There's nothing for them to carry. There's nothing for them to add to their desk if they're using the Uno Duo. So that does solve that. And I know certain schools, this is not going to be an option. I'm just telling you some of the things that we definitely heard this week. Christopher, explain.
I'm moving around the webcam now just to really highlight how clean my desk is. All I have there is a laptop.
Exactly. Very, very cool. Christopher, explain the repeater function again. How can you be connected to two Wi-Fi networks at one time?
I'm not an expert in that subject, but there is a repeater built into the box up there. There is one router and one repeater where my computer is connected to the router, and then either the router or the repeater, I guess, is also allowing the router to connect to the Wi-Fi. I guess that's how it, or the local network. I guess that's how it's working. But I'm not an expert in that topic at all. I just know it works very well. You can also, if you don't connect it to the network locally, you could have it as a, I don't think this one is probably not connected to the Wi-Fi right now because we have just not cared about doing it. So this is a, I'm looking for an English word here. Right now, my setup here is a closed system.
Right, that's correct, closed system.
Yeah.
So someone said it's a really good business application and really good for businesses. I agree 100% on that for two reasons. Even if it's just one individual, if they're working in a strategic area and if they are moving, they could use the distance. We have had some places in the US actually say they have like they've got low vision students that want to do assembly or want to do certain type of work, and they have different types of parts that they need to zero in on a part number because there's no way they're going to see that part number. Even with a handheld, they need something very, very powerful. And there was talk of that being able to open up other job opportunities to be able to zero in. In fact, we were at a school yesterday and there was someone that was excited about being able to do that type of very detailed work to be able to open up different options for people that have low vision to be able to see different things. Does the school firewall come into play?
I am sure it could, yes.
Okay. Also antivirus password and access by teachers. So I don't think, yeah, the firewall definitely could. I mean, if the school's going to lock you out, the school's going to lock you out. I mean, they would have to be when it's installed. And again, it's only opening it, as you said, Christopher, it's not every kid's going to beam into that. They're going to know what it is and they're going to be able to link to it. It's not like all of a sudden the whole classroom now can get into an area that they shouldn't.
On the ceiling mounted camera system, you will need the maintenance guy at the school and the IT manager during the installation. The maintenance guy needs to make sure there is electricity somewhere nearby, and also come with the ladder and go up and install the cameras. It's not hard, but it needs to be done. And then the IT manager may be there. As for, I guess, any type of CCTV that's computer connected and where it's Wi-Fi or network connectivity in question, someone needs to be there to make sure everything goes through their local security systems.
Are we considering having frame grabber connect to a pair of goggles? Whoa.
No, not that I've heard of, but originally the idea was to have frame grabber for all our products. We thought the idea was awesome, but we realized during the development of this that for now we could only get it working with the with the ceiling mounted cameras because it's connecting to the router. We are looking into, not saying that we're working on it currently, but we are looking into starting a project having some type of solution where frame grabber could work for more MagniLink products.
Okay.
But goggles, no, I've not heard about that, no.
Okay. Any other questions or chat? Or does anybody have a question? If you raise your hand, I will unmute you. Going once. I'm trying to go to both areas to make sure that I've got everything covered. Okay, I'm not seeing anything else. Thank you very much, Christopher. As I mentioned, you guys, Crystal Vision will have the ML Air Distance. I'm going to talk to them also about the hand controller so people can see it. And then Christopher didn't show this because we have them in the ceiling, but we have a stand that's going to be made available. Again, there's people that want to see the Uno and Duo in the ceiling, but you don't want to go out there and have to install it to check it. I think the big thing people want to see is they want to be able to see it up that high, 20 feet, 30 feet high, and to be able to make sure that you really can still get the incredible image that you're looking at that Christopher showed. So that's something that we can do. We have a stand that we have built that, of course, I will be having as well, and resellers will be able to have it. So if that's something Crystal Vision decides to get, but that just allows people to have it up without actually mounting it to be able to see what they would be purchasing and how it would solve everything. Very innovative. Good job, Christopher. We're getting some of those comments. Any other questions or comments before Christopher logs out? You guys, you can also reach out to me at any time, or Christopher as well. It's just, I'm on your time zone or close to your time zone. And I'm Kimberly Klein at lviamerica.com. And we'd be glad to answer any questions. And of course, you've got different representatives depending on which area that you're at with Crystal Vision. So you can always reach out to Bobby Lakey. You also are working with Carl. You're working with Mark Matthews. You've got Chip. I'm trying to think. I don't want to leave anybody out. You've got Steve and Ed, Richard as well, and Chip. Have I forgotten anyone? Jack. I'm sorry. So you guys have a lot of opportunities to reach out. Thank you very much, you guys, for attending. I know I said an hour. Sorry, it went a little longer, but I wanted to make sure all questions could be answered. If you think of other questions,
that's probably my fault.
No, not at all. If you think of other questions, let us know. And as I said, Crystal Vision will have the MLR Distance next week that they can start scheduling appointments for that. And then if they end up getting the Uno or Duo, we did ship one to the US. It's already sold, so we'll have to get more in. I've got to get mine as well. The other thing I wanted to say is we will be at ATIA and CSUN, and we will have this on the stand that I'm talking about. So you'll be able to see it live if you end up coming to either one of those conferences. Thank you. We'll have the recording up sometime. I'll try to get Catherine to put that up next week. And I appreciate your time. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, Christopher. Great job.
Thank you. Greetings from Sweden. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye. You too.